Bought a Mini. We put a video out talking about needing to buy something, having a bit of a scratch to itch, and I'd kind of long history with minis. I've got a classic Mini. I've always been into classics. Hated these when they came out because it wasn't a classic Mini, because that's what classic Mini people are meant to do. Grown up since then, and now I think they're a cool car, especially the supercharged ones, that's what this is. So this is a R53 Gen 1 facelift Mini Cooper S. The whole idea behind buying this is having something that I can use as a track car, basically. One of the things that stopped me having fun with cars over the last few years is just never having anything either reliable enough or decent enough to actually use as a fun car. I mean, I've been stuck with the van for a while. Obviously, my Astra VXRs, that's history is, not reliable and not something you'd want to take far, and it's been in bits for a long time anyway. And I just haven't bought anything over the last few years to actually enjoy myself. So it's not going to be like a build a track car type deal where you buy a car, strip it all out, do loads of mods to it, then take it on a track day. I'm literally buying this as a car to razz around in on the road and have a load of fun with, probably make some parts for and take on track days. Inevitably I will upgrade it. I will kind of modify it to make it more track focused, but I'm not going to do that whole kind of we bought a track car type series where we just kind of buy a car and never actually take it on track, which is what a lot of those ones seem to be. Any car is a track car. Obviously its limitations are down to the car itself. So these kinds of cars, they're 170 horsepower. It's more than enough power to have a load of fun with. It's supercharged, so it's not laggy or anything like that. It's almost the perfect car for a fun road car that you can also use on track, really. So it's got some fairly decent tyres on it. I know these wheels are mega heavy, so we'll probably change the wheels and tyres first. Brake pads, maybe brakes, probably springs, maybe eventually coilovers. It's one of those things where you start off saying you're not going to modify it, and then of course you inevitably modify it loads. But that is just car enthusiast life, isn't it? You start off saying I'm just going to keep it as it is because it's a perfectly good car, and then 3 weeks later it's fully stripped out, no interior, bucket seats, no aircon, and it's an absolute nightmare to drive. I do want it to be a nice car to drive, really. I've got the classic Mini, which the long-term plan with that is that'll be a full-time track car, trailered track car. So yeah, I just need something to have a bit of fun with and kind of get my passion back for modified cars a bit. So I knew I needed something completely different, nothing Vauxhall. I needed to get involved in a different community. And so yeah, R53 Cooper S, that's the car. This is a Generation 1 Mini, and when they first brought these out, it was just what they called a Mini 1 that was available, and that was a 1.4 naturally aspirated, like 100 horsepower, you could spec Union Jack on the roof, the lot, all that kind of thing, because they were built in Oxford. I'm pretty sure they still are. And yeah, I kind of hated them because they were like big, and it was called a Mini, and it was just horrible. But I think now that they've been on the market for like 20 years and they're on like Generation 3, they're kind of timeless. The newer ones don't really look any different to the early ones, other than, some actual updates. The shape is still pretty much the same. on the kind of hatchback one. Obviously all the others like the coupe and the Traveller that they call it, and the Clubman, obviously they're all big fat ugly things. I'm not into any of those, but these as a fun road car, again, I've kind of grown up a bit now and realised actually they are quite a cool car. So this is a supercharged one, so it's 1.6, 170 horsepower. This one is, say, metallic grey. It seems to be one of the better colours, really. There are quite a few cool colours, but I think this is probably the one I would pick if I had the choice out of any of them. And these are probably my favourite wheels as well, although they'll probably not stay. They're really curbed. I mean, it's a £2,000 car, so it is the kind of car you can buy and you don't have to care too much about condition-wise as well, which I also... I'm very into that. You go out and spend loads of money on a new car, and all of a sudden you're in the position of don't want to damage it, don't want to ruin it, don't want to do anything to it. Whereas these cars, at this kind of money, you can just have a bit of fun with it. It's already, not perfect, so you're not really going to ruin it as such. So yeah, that's the plan, just have a bit of fun. It's kind of cool with the black roof. I know they're all two-tone, I think. But yeah, probably wants like a bit of de-chroming. I'm not really into chrome, never really have been. I'm not sure many people are. I think most Mini Cooper people probably de-chrome them. The front bumper doesn't line up with the bonnet, but I think that's pretty common as well. You end up with like the bumper sitting over to one side, so you can see here it's like doesn't actually line up with the wheel arch, and on the other side it sticks out the other end. So I think that's pretty common. Again, not really bothered about that. But other than that, it's in pretty decent condition. It's done like 111,000 miles. So it's got loads of service history. Not much for the last 10,000 or so, but again, we'll do all the fluids, and apparently that you need a supercharger service. Never had a supercharged car before, so that's quite interesting. So yeah, there'll be some stuff to learn on that, which we'll probably video. Again, one of the really cool things about these being supercharged is to get you can get like 20 horsepower, 25 horsepower out of them with like just changing the pulley. So a supercharger is belt driven. So a turbocharger, like on all the VXR stuff, is driven by the exhaust gases. So the exhaust gases that come out of the engine drive the turbine, which spin the compressor, which sucks air in and pushes it into your engine. The supercharger is belt driven, so the faster the engine spins, the faster the supercharger spins, and then it draws more air in and forces it into the engine through that big scoop in the front. So the whole idea is if you change that belt ratio, if you put a smaller pulley on, I think like most common is go for like 15%, I think you can go for a 15% on the stock map, and it, the stock ECU can correct the fuel in appropriately. So you want to kind of just stick for that 15% pulley on the stock map, I think. But yeah, like you can get like kind of free power out of them, so I'll probably do that as well. So yeah, lots of videos to come with this. Maybe not for a while, but just going to enjoy it as it is for a while. Thanks for watching. See you next time.